Teocam, founder and managing director, Climate Smart Agriculture Youth Network Global. Mrs. Margarita Astraga, special advisor to the managing director, Climate Smart Agriculture Youth Network, I will say CSAYN from now on, Global. Dr. Jorge Huertin, special advisor to IICA's Director General. Dr. Manuel Otero, Director General of the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation and Agriculture. All other distinguished participants and special invited guests of CSAYN and IICA joining us virtually. Fellow staff and colleagues of IICA, those who are here and joining us online, a pleasant good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and a warm welcome to all. On behalf of the entire IICA family across our 34 member states, I also give special greetings of bonsoir et bienvenue to our comrades in Cameroon of CSAYN. At the outset, I would also like to extend a special thank you to all of you for joining us at this historic virtual signing ceremony between CSAYN and IICA. I am sure we will all agree that 2021 will be a pivotal year for all of us as the world seeks to grapple with what has been ranked as the top 3 global challenges. These are COVID-19, climate change, and cooperation. I would say the 3 C's. Cognizant that we need to act with a sense of urgency, I am particularly pleased that as we are about to start the second quarter of 2021, we can say that the establishment of this partnership is testimony of both parties taking a bold and innovative step. Might I also add, a step in the right direction to embrace the opportunities to jointly and effectively address the previously mentioned 3 C's across the Western Hemisphere and across the African continent, particularly among our young people. Having borne the scars of a decade long of financial crisis, our young people today across the globe are now experiencing their second major global crisis within a single decade. Faced with an entrenched climate crisis and a global risk outlook of youth disillusionment as a top blind spot, the partnership of CSAYN and IICA gives much hope for a future that has a silver lining. In fact, since food and land are core components of the culture and economies of the African continent and the Western Hemisphere, especially Latin America and the Caribbean region, we are obliged to attract, engage, and retain our young people through climate smart and digital agriculture if we are to realistically transform the sector towards resilience and sustainability in keeping with the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. At this juncture, I think it is timely to call on the officials of CSAYN to give some remarks on the work they are doing in Africa and across other parts of the globe with young people in the promotion of climate smart agriculture. So without further ado, I now call on Mr. Divine Teocam, mentioned earlier as the founder and managing director of CSAYN Global, to give his remarks. Divine.
Yeah, hi, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Perfect. Yeah, greetings from Cameroon, Yaoundé. I'm so grateful for this very great opportunity. And actually, this is a milestone. As we all know, this year is a decade of action. And we are kicking this decade with the 3 C's, which is what? COVID-19, climate change, and cooperation. Cooperation here, we're gonna look at SDG 17, which talks about global partnership. And all what we are doing here right now, today is gonna be to feed into the process of the UN Food System Summit, which of course, I'm one of the Food System Summit champions for these very important moments. We are so delighted indeed to have all these high personalities on board, the ambassadors I mean, with their busy schedule, they were able to step in to say, oh, we are here to witness this very important moment. And as we all know, Africa is a continent of the future. We have close to 65% arable land, which means that all efforts to be diverse into agricultural systems and transforming the food systems is actually key. And that's why the UN Secretary General decided last couple of years to ensure that the summit holds this year. And we are signing this MOU at a very important moment whereby we're looking forward to implementing the Paris Agreement as well. That's where we talk of the climate smart agriculture, which actually has triple wins: mitigation, adaptation, and improving production and productivity for the smallholder farmers. And equally, we are looking equally at the aspect of employment. Young people actually in Africa are very innovative, and equally in Europe, Caribbean, everywhere the IICA is operating. So we thought that stepping in this global partnership is going to actually leverage the SDGs and all member countries' agenda to making sure that we reduce urban-rural migration and scale up rural-urban and transform the rural communities into rural cities. So I really feel very, very passionate about what we are doing right here. And without further ado, I don't know how many minutes I have, Beverly, because I can talk like this till tomorrow. And you may say, you may be worried about time. So I would like you to tell me how many minutes I have, because I have a lot to share here, since I have the opportunity to chip in. Yeah, CSAYN was actually founded in 2014. And I started in Cameroon, DRC, Togo, and Nigeria with my very close friends, AJ, Andre, and Samuel. Yes, my very close friends. And then later on in September 2014, the Global Alliance was actually launched in New York City, whereby I issue our representative to the UN agency's headquarters represented us at the launch of the Global Alliance on Climate Smart Agriculture. And I have to recall here that the initiative came up in the sense that David Nabarro, back in 2014, he invited me to step up and sit as one of the strategic committee members for GACSA in May 2014, when they were trying to revisit the dynamics on how they can implement the climate smart practices into concrete action. So when I went through the program of work, I realized that there was the youth component or gender was somehow missing. And I requested to set up a youth constituency of the Global Alliance. That's how I was actually motivated with FAO Rome to join efforts with them to develop a technical document, the concept, the one-pager. And yes, this is where we are today. So we are now in 17 countries, and with IICA, we are sure we're going to cover the entire world. And the idea is for us to see how we can actually push the initiatives of transform agriculture. That is, agriculture is the only sector where I always say is the only sector that employs the most. Because if you did medicine, you can look at nutrition and food security. If you did carpentry, you're responsible to build the poultry farms. If you did mechanics, you try to see how you can transform cater for, arrange, or maybe come up with very good techniques to service the cars that transport the food from the farm to the market. Yeah, if you're a teacher by profession, you can actually carry out what we call the farmer field schools, train young people because they're the future. And capacitating young people means that we are actually capacitating the whole world. So I feel that Africa being very, very potential with these young people, the demographic dividends is actually a way forward for us to actually meet up this partnership and implement. And we are here looking forward to this very, very important moment, which is actually going to change the world. And I really know, I read from the website that this is the first time IICA is actually cooperating with the African continent. So we are stepping the gap and representing the entire African Union Commission and the 54 or 55 member countries on this partnership. And we really urge the African Union, the European Union, and equally the UN systems to join efforts so that we can deliver as one. So now we are looking at IICA, UN system, African Union, and European Union. So those are the four constituencies that are going to transform the food systems in the near future. With that, I say thank you very much.
It was a pleasure for you to give us that broad overview, and I suppose a taste of things to come. You said you have a lot to share, and I'm sure in the next 4 years over which we will collaborate, we will hear a lot more and we'll learn a lot more about you. I now call on your great colleague, Margarita. I am not sure if the last name is Astralaga or Astralaga, but I would say advisor to, special advisor to the managing director of Divine. So Astralaga, I now invite you to give some remarks. You have 5 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm really delighted to be here for this ceremony because as a Latin American, as a Colombian, it's great to see how Africa, where many of us come from, and Latin America and the Caribbean and North America, the Americas, get together in this very important effort. I'm happy to say that one of my first trainings when I started my professional career, not as many years as IICA has, but a few decades ago, I was very proud to be trained by IICA in several opportunities. So as a former trainee of IICA, I see there is a great opportunity to really help Africa and African youngsters to step up. They are working very, very well in this network. And there are a lot of opportunities, but every time we meet, we talk about the skills. We talk about sharing best practices, how to green the economy. There are so many questions and so much potential to really inspire and make sure that the lessons that we have learned in the region, in the Americas, help African youth to move much faster than what it took us in Latin America and the Caribbean and in North America to get what we want, the future we all want. I think the Food System Summit, of course, is a very important step, and ensuring that we are producing food, that the food that we need, but in a sustainable manner, taking care of the planet and improving our food systems is key. So we have these 4 years to together also help implement the decade of the Food System Summit, where we are going to together, hopefully, through these efforts, change the way and transform the food systems to be more inclusive, but also more respect more our environment and our people in both Latin America, the Caribbean, and in Africa. So thank you very much for this opportunity, and over to you.
I must say, for those of us who don't know much about you, I Googled you a bit, and I see you have a very strong track record in IFAD. So I know you bring a wealth of knowledge to this partnership we are joining with CSAYN. I quite like the fact that you are in fact a product of IICA in terms of some capacity building in years gone by. So we can say the seed that was planted has blossomed and borne much fruit. So thank you very much. I now move on to the next agenda item, which is, I think, a critical part where we have the signing ceremony, the signing of the agreement. So we'll have both our Director General and Divine sign the agreement, and we also have the witness. This agreement, the main objective really is to share knowledge, or it's aimed at sharing knowledge and expertise among young people in Latin America and the Caribbean and the African region, with a view to improving their rural well-being, especially in the areas of climate-smart agriculture, agricultural productivity, food safety, in amicable ways with the environment and rational use of natural resources. So for us, we deem this to be very historic and important in the life of both institutions. So Divine is also doing the signing right now, as well as our DG. Divine, your camera is off. Yes. And you will show us the signed page of the agreement so we can take a photo. Divine, you're muted. You're muted.
Yeah, am I signing above my name or below my name?
Above.
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 Yes.
Good.
Can we see the page so that we can take a lovely,
Good.
excellent.
Good.
Okay, so now we have witnesses signing as well. Thank you, Divine. Ambassador Antonio, you will sign the document, I'm sure later today or before the end of this week, as a witness as well. Thank you very much. Okay, moving right along. I now call on Mrs. Anissa Ali Rodriguez, who is the chargé d'affaires, as I said earlier, of the Embassy of Trinidad and Tobago in Costa Rica. Just to give a bit of context, that the presence of Trinidad and Tobago, as well as Brazil, which by extension we believe are representatives of the entire Latin America and the Caribbean region, is evidence of the collective partners which have a strong historic tie to the people of Africa, whom we believe will be important to influence the change of the current construct for cross-border strategic partnership in the future. So I now call on Ms. Ali Rodriguez to say a few words on behalf of the Caribbean region, Trinidad and Tobago, and I'm giving you more responsibility on behalf of the Caribbean region. Thank you.
My shoulders are heavy. Thank you. Dr. Manuel Arturo, Director General of the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture. Mr. Divine Antiocham, Founder and Managing Director of Climate Smart Agriculture Youth Network Global and CSAYN Global. The Honorable Antonio Francisco da Costa, Ambassador of Brazil, esteemed officials of IICA and CSAYN Global, and ladies and gentlemen, good morning. At the outset, I would like to express appreciation to the Director General, Dr. Manuel Otero, and his team at IICA for coordinating today's signing ceremony and inviting the Embassy of Trinidad and Tobago to be part of this auspicious event and to witness the signing of the General Technical Cooperation Agreement between the Climate Smart Agriculture Youth Network Global and the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture. I am privileged to be part of this important activity that demonstrates the Institute's efforts on strengthening public and private institutional capacities and supporting South-South cooperation that are essential to achieve sustainable and equitable agricultural development. CSAYN Global is a laudable network of professionals working to create awareness, sensitize, and build the productive capacity of young people and people living with disabilities on climate-smart agriculture concepts for adaptation to climate change and increasing food productivity in a sustainable manner. Today's signing event is a result of the synergy that the two institutions recognize the existence of areas of common interest in which joint work and collaboration can contribute to achieving their own objectives and to strengthen cooperation and knowledge in the areas of joint action. I commend IICA for partnering with CSAYN Global in furthering the work and impact of climate-smart agriculture. Moreover, I recognize the critical need for the work being undertaken by CSAYN Global in building awareness in youth and vulnerable groups on the attractiveness of agriculture as a source of income and of vocation, and encouraging their involvement in climate-smart agriculture. Unarguably, the impact of climate change on agriculture's volume and value for our economies and lives is not a static problem with a finite solution. As the future of climate change brings new challenges, the present work of CSAYN Global and IICA through today's signing of the General Agreement would hopefully have a legacy of giving youth and people living with disabilities the tools, skills, and capacity to face the new and emerging threats of climate change and ensure that agriculture remains sustainable and is supported by an intelligent food system that is responsive to change and can seamlessly adapt to unforeseen occurrences. As we navigate ahead in a soon-to-be post-pandemic reality, we have to be careful to not lose or forget the gains and inroads we have made in the pre-pandemic work related to inclusiveness of youth and vulnerable groups, especially as it relates to sustainable agriculture that ensures food security through increased productivity and smarter, innovative approaches to climate change, the effects of which have not slowed down or paused simply because the world went into a global health crisis. IICA has many models and success stories of introducing tools and programs for cross-cutting issues of gender and youth and innovation and technology that countries from my region, the Caribbean Community, or CARICOM, have benefited from with tangible and measurable improvements in the agriculture sector of member states in the English-speaking Caribbean. As we know, the shared historical and cultural ties between the Caribbean and the African continent is manifest in our similar diets, food culture, small and family farming, rural production systems, and agricultural histories. Therefore, I am sure the success of programs coordinated by IICA in the CARICOM region will have a similar success rate in the countries that fall under the purview of the CSAYN Global Network. Certainly, the experience sharing across regions would build up youth and people living with disabilities with the knowledge and skills in climate-smart agriculture that would enable them to make a positive contribution to their communities and economies. As I conclude, I wish to congratulate both parties of the agreement for coming together to share knowledge and expertise in order to improve the well-being and capacity building of youth and people living with disabilities with tools and techniques of climate-smart agriculture. I wish every success for the partnership between the two parties that should result, hopefully, in future specific cooperation agreements that will have lasting effects for technical cooperation and capacity building. Once again, I am honored to be a humble witness to today's signing event. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Ali Rodriguez. And thank you for summarizing very nicely all the potential values or potential inroads that we can make with South-South cooperation between IICA or between Latin America and the Caribbean and the African continent. Lily, I thank you for the words you said, a new day is born. Thank you very much for those words in terms of the partnership formed. I now call on His Excellency Antonio Francisco da Costa y Silva Neto, Ambassador of the Republic of Brazil to Costa Rica, to share a few words with us. Ambassador, the floor is yours.
Good morning, bonjour, buenos dias, or good afternoon. Buenas tardes. Je pense qu'en français, c'est encore bonjour. I will try to be a bit less formal, but let me first and foremost thank the Director General of IICA, my friend Manuel Otero, and through him also Jorge Huerta and other members of IICA for the kind invitation to participate as a witness to this event. It is an honor, a real honor, to participate in this event for many reasons. And I would say first and foremost, I have a personal attachment to developing bridges between Latin America and Africa. It's a family thing. My father is a historian dedicated to African history who believes that the only way of understanding Brazil is to study the history of Africa, not the history of Europe. Also the history of Europe, obviously, but first and foremost the history of Africa, because the the root of what Brazil is significantly linked to Africa. And although part of the explanation is tragic because it has to do with slavery, it's not limited to that. He uses to say that the Atlantic for us is not an ocean, it's a river. And we should just build bridges between this river. And I think this event and this MOU that IICA and CSAYN is promoting is significant and important for that reason. And for a Brazilian like myself, who is a true believer in what I've just said, it has this particular personal meaning. Thank to all representatives of the Youth Network and all of IICA. I think my colleague Anissa has already said most of what I wanted to say. So let me limit my comments to a couple of concepts on how IICA and Brazil can contribute to this effort. And IICA and Brazil have a strong historical partnership. And Director General Manuel Otero knows it well. So we're ready to cooperate in any way we can in this endeavor. Innovative technologies, I think, open up more opportunities for young people to pursue careers in agribusiness. I think new management techniques associated with technologies allow farmlands to be more productive, profitable, and sustainable, meeting, I think, the interests and aspirations of younger generations. The numbers that I have are from 2017, when Brazil had approximately 570,000 agricultural establishments run by young people up to 35 years old. And we had about 6.5 million youngsters between 18 and 32 years old living in the countryside, of which 37 completed high school and 6.5% concluded graduate studies. The participation of young people in the agricultural sector still faces obviously numerous challenges. Training, revaluing agricultural work, streamlining agri-tech are among them, but I think one of them clearly is access to capital. Obtaining rural credit is not simple for those with a short credit history on the market. And Brazil has created a program called Pronaf Jovem, which is a credit line from the National Program for Strengthening Family Farming, dedicated exclusively to agricultural entrepreneurs ranging in the age between 16 and 29 years old. And we would be ready to share that experience and how we have developed through this new MOU. What seems to be limitations sometimes can constitute an opportunity for young people, I think. The new generation in agribusiness is driving, at least in Brazil, the emergence of agri-techs, attracting investments for high-tech agricultural startups. 79% of Brazilian agri-techs were founded by up to 40-year-old entrepreneurs, and 32% for those up to 30 years old. There are already more than 300 agri-techs in the country with annual investments of 100 million reais, which comes around 30 million US dollars. These are companies responsible for generating technologies aimed at the challenge of making the land increase its crop yield in order to feed humanity in the future with the proper preservation of natural resources. The young Brazil, therefore, embraces the socioeconomic and environmental sustainability of production. And I think this is important to stress. We are, Brazilians, very proud of our low carbon emission agricultural program, which has already achieved expressive results on several fronts, in which I would highlight 11 million hectares of recovered pastures, 40 million cubic meters of treated animal waste, nitrogen fixation on 10 million hectares, 8 million hectares with no-till farming, and adoption of integrated crop livestock forest systems on 6 million hectares. I think all of those programs are well known by IICA. So, and we are ready, Brazil is ready to offer this cooperation. As you know, Brazil has not yet engaged with the Global Alliance for CSA, but we are very active in the Global Alliance for Sustainable Livestock. And I'm certain through IICA, we will also engage in this MOU for the benefit of all young people involved in agriculture Brazil, for one, values this renewal, generational renewal in agriculture. We think it's critical, and we hope this MOU furthers that cause, both for the benefit of Latin America and Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you very much for your words. And thank you for taking us through a journey back in time, looking at the history, but pointing forward very clearly in terms of the potential opportunities ahead of us. So thank you again. I now call on the Director General, Ms. Dr. Manuel Otero, to share with us, I think, some very important words of reflection and the vision for this partnership. So please, Dr. Otero, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Beverly. Good morning, everyone. Greetings to the founder and managing director of the Global Climate Smart Agriculture Youth Network, Mr. Divine Yokam. I'm getting jealous, Divine, because you are already a close friend of Beverly and Jorge, and I want also be a close friend of you. I do extensive this message to the members of his team who are present at this event. Also, greetings to my friend Antonio Francisco da Costa Silva Neto, Ambassador of Brazil to Costa Rica, and to Ms. Anissa Ali Rodriguez, responsible for the Embassy of Trinidad and Tobago in San Jose. And thank you both for your presence, and I would like to acknowledge your importance as role models for the region. For Brazil, for Trinidad and Tobago, and by extension for the whole Caribbean region, Africa is a part of us. Greetings to the member of my team who have worked to realize this agreement, which we consider very significant and which fill up with pride. Firstly, because as a Latin American, as Caribbean citizens, we know that are indebted with Africa. Secondly, because there are two continents that need to be even more interconnected and can find our common denominator in agriculture sector and rurality. At IICA, over the recent months, we have had joint experiences with Africa, which we highly value. For example, we joined forces to identify issues of common interest in food safety, mainly related to Codex Alimentarius. A few months ago, we brought together specialists, technical specialists, and officials from Latin America and the Caribbean, Africa and India to exchange knowledge and experience on the fight against locust. Locust is affecting part of Argentina, Paraguay, Uruguay, menacing also Brazil. So it's a very, very serious problem in which Africa has some experience. The day before yesterday, I had the privilege of sharing a session with Dr. Fadel Ndiame, Deputy President of AGRA. AGRA means Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa. And Professor Shwash Kibet with University of Kenya. The session was held in the context of the International Week of Tropical Agriculture organized by EMBRAPA and IICA. This agreement with the Climate Smart Agriculture Youth Network provides IICA with a fundamental platform based in Africa, Asia, the United States, and Europe, integrated by capable young people who want to share their findings and seek advice for practical projects of interest for climate smart agriculture and environment. IICA also believes this alliance is highly strategic since it will encourage initiatives in many fields, all related with the promotion of sustainable development in rural areas. In just 6 months, we will be participated in the UN meeting to debate the future of food systems. And a lot is at stake. The voice of our farmers must be present and heard in this global forum. So it's crucial to to define bridges, especially between Africa and Latin America and Caribbean region. We are going to bring this agreement to life. IICA has a long tradition of fostering dialogue among young rural leaders. So, thinking in the day after, thinking in tomorrow, I would like to propose a first meeting between young leaders from Africa and Latin America and the Caribbean. And this is a concrete offering. We are united by rurality and the certainty that sustainable production is the only path or the main path to development. All or almost of all our Latin American and Caribbean people are the result of this cultural mix between Africans, indigenous people, and Europeans who shaped our population and left their long-lasting imprint on language, food, religion, culture, and I would even say our character. We must honor this brotherhood. This agreement is first and foremost the expression of a strong will to achieve these goals. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Otero. I will just add by saying we have to honor the brotherhood and the sisterhood of the alliance.
Good, good point.
Yes, we have come to the end. I don't know if Divine, you have a few words to say as we close, or anyone from your team would like to say a few words. But I just want to say it was really an honor and a very great opportunity to have this this virtual ceremony today. And before we come to a close, I would invite you to say a few words to close.
Yeah, actually, I'm so overwhelmed on behalf of my team. This is a dream come true. We've always been searching for sustainable partners. And of course, I wouldn't even know how I got in touch with IICA, but I think it's from the Champions Network where I got in touch with George, and later on we set up a call, and that's how we started discussing partnership. Honestly speaking, Director General and all ambassadors present, we and all colleagues, we are very, very well pleased to reaffirm that we are ready to deliver this partnership within the next 4 years. And of course, actually, let's be precise, 4 years renewable. Yes, it is a 4-year partnership renewable. So we are very, very set and ready to deliver. And of course, looking at the Food System Summit, I really want to call upon IICA, since we are all a part of the Champions Network. Let's work really as one. Let's join efforts. Let's equally. Yeah, I will actually recommend, as the Director General said, a very fast, quick meeting between the young people in Africa, Latin America, and the Caribbeans. We can actually look upon to organize a high-level pre-youth event or to the summit. Yeah, we can agree on the dates and the timing and get this done. But already from now henceforth, let's try to join efforts as far as we are concerned to scale up the independent dialogues we have been working towards. And we're really, really, really excited. And the next request or comment will be that we will really much appreciate if all the 34 IICA countries host CSAYN. That is, they should have a focal point of CSAYN within their offices. Yeah, because I read across and I realized that you have fiscal offices and very strong engagement in those countries. So we shall be very happy to have CSAYN in all the 34 IICA countries. That's another request I'll be happy to see, so that it can equally facilitate the collaboration. Yeah, I think that's something we will be able to do. We're ready to see that happen. And equally, we at the level of CSAYN, we commit ourselves to ensuring that the IICA agenda is actually scaled up across all the 70 countries in which we are actually working. So I think with this, I want to thank you very much, Director General, the ambassadors. We are so pleased to have you here. And really, we're looking forward to organizing a high-level dialogue to synthesize all what we've been doing since January as far as independent dialogues are concerned. We'll be organizing that next April, the 8th day. We're looking at the 8th day, which is April 24th, if I'm not mistaken. So we shall be organizing a high-level dialogue where we are extending our invitations to you all to ensuring that all the 34 countries of IICA are fully involved. So I reiterate one thing, let all the 34 IICA countries host CSAYN in their premises, have a focal point. That's something we really want to see happen. Thank you very much indeed. Beverly, George, and the Director General, I'm so pleased. And where's Anna? I've not seen Anna. Is Anna on this call? Because she's been very hardworking to making this happen.
She's connected, but she's not in office today. She's connected.
Okay, say hi to her. That CSAYN Global recognizes her efforts. And equally, I think George, I think a certain George. Yeah, I think the social media guy. I mean, I already know your team is to say we have been following you guys closely. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Divine. And thanks to all again. As we close, I would just say one last line. The road ahead cannot be the continuation of survival of the fittest, but rather reflection of each one matters. And together we are stronger with our voices and our complementary actions. Divine and the colleagues of CSAYN, ambassadors, everyone present, and those who are connected online, thank you. And please look forward to very, very, I would say, tangible results in the near future with our young people who we know are very able and willing to make the change in the agricultural sector. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Beverly, please, I will request if you can send this link of this recording so that we can share among our networks. That would be very helpful.
Thank you. You're welcome. We'll do that as soon as we're done.
Thank you.
Okay.
Muchas gracias, Antonio. Cuídense. Chao, Margarita. Chao, chao.
Chao, gracias.
Gracias, gracias.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias a todos.
Take care.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.